Hey guys, we're back with another vlog. This week we're doing a vlog on the myths about marriage.
Yeah, we thought this one would be quite a timely vlog because last week we had a marriage seminar at our church, which was our first one as a married couple.
We've had plenty before we were married.
Yeah, but this one was just, I think we saw things from a different perspective, being there married and knowing what we know now. So yeah, we're going to go on to that in a second. But first we just want to say thank you so much for your support on the last video, clapback season. A lot of people were getting very
expressive.
Yeah.
Very verbal.
Yeah, in their comments. So we've read through all of those. And we do appreciate the love. We're up to 2,700 subscribers. And so in the forthcoming weeks, we're hoping to do a special giveaway once we hit 3,500 followers.
Yeah, that's right.
So stay tuned to find out what that will be.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. But yeah, at the end of the video, we'll give you all the details of that. But yeah, as for now, let's get back to the myths on marriage.
So guys, like, once you get married, isn't your life like over?
So this is a question that we get asked quite a lot actually, and especially into the build up to the wedding. A lot of people at work were asking me like, are you sure you want to get married at 23? You know, you're really young, like it's going to be the end of your life. Once you have a wife, she's going to be, you know, dictating the way you do things, how you live your life, everything you do on a daily basis. So there was a lot of like negativity around it, and it did kind of set me back, like, hold on, all these married people are talking like this, like what's going on? Like, why does everyone say like, you know, when you get married it's the end of your life? But for me personally, I honestly don't think it's the case. Yes, I am young, I'm 24 now, we're 24 now, but I still feel like I get to enjoy life as much as I was before I was married. I'm not restricted in the things I do, you know, I still get to go out, I still get to play snooker, still get to see my friends, you know, I don't understand what more I could want to do. So yeah, for me, I don't think marriage marks the end of my life.
I got this question more from people that were single, because everyone was telling me like, oh, don't you want to like test the waters a bit more and all of this sort of like, no, I don't need to test any waters. I know what I want. So yeah, I think, but I find it quite annoying. This is one thing that I always say. I find it quite annoying. I think, what's the legal age to have sex in this country?
16.
So I find that quite annoying that people think it's okay to say, okay, yeah, from 16 you can like have sex willy-nilly, do whatever you want, kind of thing. But then when I decide that I'd rather spend my life with one person, make the decision to be, this is the person that I'm going to literally sleep with for the rest of my life.
From the age of 23?
From the age of 23.
They think that's too young.
Then they say it's too young. It's a bit strange to me, to be honest. But anyway, each to their own. So I don't know. I feel like when it comes to being married young, I don't think you can say someone is too young. I think it's more about, it's not about age necessarily. It's about how you are as a person, like how mature you are as a person in terms of getting married. Yeah. I'm not going to say that we're the most mature people, but I don't know what else I would have been waiting for if I'm saying that I'm waiting till I'm 27 to get married.
Yeah.
For what? If the person is here, what am I waiting for, kind of thing.
It's true.
So, yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think it's all down to maturity. Yeah. Like, you could find a 30-year-old who's still immature. So there's no actual fixed age as to when marriage, you know, when it's good to get married. Yeah. There's no fixed age.
Yeah, everyone's different, I'd say. And I don't think, to be honest, I think I was boring before I was married. And I'm still going to be boring afterwards. I don't think marriage makes me any more or less boring.
Not boring.
Okay, I just say I'm more of a grandma than most people. I like to sleep early.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more of a home bird than a going out kind of person. Yes. So I don't think marriage has changed that. I don't think Amit has put me on lockdown or I've put him on lockdown now. I think that's just the way we live.
The way it is, yeah.
So obviously, like, you guys were girlfriend and boyfriend before. Now that you're married, are you guys like the perfect couple? Like, does Michelle make you breakfast in bed and do you open her doors for her and stuff?
This one is actually quite funny because I would personally say I probably had like visions in my head, like I'm going to be the perfect wife for Amit. I'm going to be making it, like I actually thought, you know, I'm going to be waking up making him breakfast, you know, every day cooking dinner. But it's actually not like that. Like, life happens and every day I think I used to wake up earlier for work than you, isn't it?
Yeah.
To work. But now it's
Sometimes.
changed.
Now it's
so
changed, yeah.
it's a thing where it's like, we would both leave the house and none of us would have breakfast. It's not actually like that. And I think in terms of them being perfect, they're pretty much the same person from courtship than they are when you get married. Like, you can't expect that now, that because there's a ring on your finger, all of a sudden they're a knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be flying me away everywhere. Like, it's just, I think, I don't know. I don't know why in my head I always thought that marriage is just going to be like.
So
I don't know. I love marriage, but it's not like something that's out of this world where it's like all of a sudden you both change and you're both like perfect for each other.
Yeah, I think how you perceive your wife to be before marriage, the expectations you set, kind of sets you up to whether you'll be disappointed or overwhelmed by how your wife behaves in your marriage. And not that I didn't have expectations of Michelle, but I think I didn't put expectation on material things. So for me, her waking up and making me breakfast every morning was not really a thing. I wasn't entering into marriage with the hope that I could find someone who would make me breakfast every morning, because 9 times out of 10 I leave the house at 6 a.m, so I'm not even bothered to eat breakfast. So I think it's heavily dependent on the expectations you set before you go into marriage as to whether, you know, you're just setting yourself up to be disappointed. So yeah, I think as long as I knew in my heart the expectations I had, and I know that Michelle's been able to deliver on them, so I'm happy.
Nice.
I know you guys said that you did premarital counselling, so are there no arguments in your marriage now?
So, pre-marriage counselling, a very interesting topic whenever we used to discuss it with our friends or our family. Especially to my side of the family and my friends, it was like quite a strange thing, like, oh, why are you doing counselling? You're not even married yet. But the bishop of our church has written a book on marriage, and what the counselling involves is, I think it was like 6 or 7
chapters.
7 chapters. You do a chapter a week, you go to him, you have an hour conversation, and you just go through what he's written about marriage. And it's very, very interesting because you cover some key topics which, if you don't discuss or weren't aware of before you enter into marriage, when they actually happen in marriage, it would be such a big shock. But it's almost like you're building yourself up again with the expectation, so you know what to expect when it comes, so you can manage the situation a lot better. Now, I wouldn't say, obviously you discuss things like arguments in marriage counselling, but that doesn't mean that you're never going to argue. It's inevitable. 2 people living together, spending so much time with one another, you're going to argue. You're going to get in each other's way. There will be a day where maybe you don't want to talk to each other for some period of time because you just want your own space. But what the counselling does, it gives you the information of how to deal with the situation. So most people, if I wanted my own time and I tell Michelle, don't talk to me for 3 hours because I just want my own space. Not that I do this, but if I wanted my own space, if we hadn't had the counselling, Michelle might have reacted in a different way, in a sort of thing where, oh, but I'm your wife, why do you want to spend time away from me? Like, what do you mean? But now that we've had the counselling, it's wisdom. We have the wisdom and we know how to manage the situation. Some of the other topics we touched on was like managing finances, because now obviously you're managing finances not of your own but of 2 people.
Together, yeah.
Dealing with families. You know, families, we both come from different backgrounds, so in our case especially, the way we view things is completely different. What are some of the other things we touched on? Communication, yes. And I think that's imperative. That's a really important one, because it's surprising. You think, oh, you know, you used to speak on the phone like for hours upon end when you were courting. So why in marriage it'll just be the same thing? But it's not. Honestly,
it's not actually.
It's honestly not.
Now
the same thing.
I don't know the last long phone conversation we've had.
No.
It's literally like, okay, you send a message in the morning to be like, oh, good morning. Like if he's left work before me, if he's left home before me, I've left before him. And then it would just be like halfway through the day, how's your day going? And then that will kind of be it until you come home, and then you have like a proper conversation.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, I can't wait to call him on the phone or can't wait to see him this evening. Not that. As in, alright, I look forward to seeing you. I didn't mean it like that, but anyway. Sorry. Anyway, moving on. It's just, I think premarital counselling, I would say, doesn't mean that your marriage is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I think some people think that because I've gone through the classes, I took my notes, when I get in an argument, I'm going to look at my notes and know that, look, I'm ready for this. I think it's not like that. And I think sometimes it's very easy as well if you're in the heat of an argument to forget everything you've learned.
Yeah.
But as Amit was saying, sometimes it can be a thing where because you're kind of a little bit more prepared for the fact that you knew it wasn't going to be rosy, you kind of know how to approach it a bit more.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's been, well, actually, so I'm more likely to be the person to say that, give me my space, than Amit is. Amit isn't really, he doesn't really like conflict that much, so it's a thing where if we're arguing, he'll probably end up saying, okay, Michelle, you're right, kind of thing. But I'm probably the type of person that is like, I kind of want you to know that you're wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to tell me that I'm right, just
Sure.
because
Drill
just to stop the argument. I want you to tell me why you are wrong.
Yeah.
So, so I'd say that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, and I think that the importance of counselling is something which our bishop says is that you can learn from experience. You know, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you learn from experiences, you face certain consequences.
Yeah.
And those consequences can leave, some scars along the way. Whereas if you learn from counsel, if you seek counsel, you know, it's the best way to learn because you're building up yourself to something that might happen.
Yeah.
And you know how to deal with it before it even happens. So yeah, that's the whole concept around pre-marriage counselling.
But wait, isn't marriage just like courtship, but just benefits?
So, courtship versus marriage. Okay, so I think I was also one of these believers that thought that, to be honest, the only thing that changes is that you guys sleep together and you live together. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It will still be the same. But as we said before, it's not quite the same in terms of like talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And arguments and stuff are a little bit more heated because you are together pretty much all the time. And I think marriage is different because you are with that person constantly, so it's not the same as when you're in courtship. It's like, if I don't want to talk to you, I could just put my phone on silent. That's
do not
it.
disturb.
Do not disturb, and it's finished. Whereas you actually have to, I feel like you have to tackle things more head on in marriage.
Yeah.
It is more about working together. So in terms of finances, before I was not accountable to him for what I spend or what I'm buying, what I'm bringing home. Whereas now it's kind of like, I have to give him that respect in terms of, if I'm spending this money on a shopping spree, he needs to know it. Like, he needs to know, okay, what are we doing here? Obviously we have our separate accounts or whatever, but it's still a thing where we still have to rally together in terms of if we're saving for something, we're doing that together. It's not a thing where I'm just doing my own thing and he's doing his own thing. And to be honest, Amit is more of the spender out of us two, so most of our arguments are probably that Amit spent on this and hasn't told me, and then I'm here trying to scrimp and save. But so yeah, I think it's not just about the benefits, the extra benefits. No.
There's a lot more to marriage which either people don't talk about, people don't normally see from the outside. But yeah, you know, lots of my friends, they say, oh, you know, marriage, like, isn't it just the same? Like, you just get to sleep with one another, you live with one another, you see each other every day. Like, that's your dream, because when you're talking to one another as a couple in a relationship, you're always saying like, oh, you know, can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, and oh, can't wait to see you every day. And really and truly, there's a lot more. Yes, all that stuff is great, but there's a lot of consequences as a result of that, like staying together, living together. If I don't like something Michelle does, I would have to tell her, and I would then have to face the consequences of how she will react to that. If I tell her through WhatsApp or a text message on the phone, she may not like it, but I could just hang the phone up and then not hear.
Give me some calling time.
Yeah, you know, it could, whether the calling time be half a day, I know that I'm not going to see her for that half of the day. She'll be with her family or in her house, and then she'll message me. We'll go back to messaging when we're ready to talk. But that doesn't, you can't use that method when you're living together.
Another thing, sorry, I thought, obviously in courtship, like you go on dates and stuff. I'm not saying you don't do that in marriage, but I think in courtship
Get ready
we do
for
that.
the shade.
No, it's not shade. But I feel like in courtship we do that a lot more because obviously you don't see that person as much, so you make a little bit more of an effort to be like, hey, let's do like 2 dates a week, or dinner twice a week, or movies twice a week. Whereas in marriage, I see you every day. Can eat at the dining table together.
Exactly.
So it's not, I'd say I always thought that maybe that would be our thing, like Fridays, let's do date nights on Friday.
Prayer meeting on Friday, actually.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Well, okay, so let's pick Thursdays then. I think it's just like, because you do see each other more often, I think, to be honest, I think that that's a flaw though, that we should make more of an effort, because we shouldn't get relaxed in the fact that we see each other every day, but it just tends to happen because you've been at work, you come home, bedtime is not always bedtime, so so there isn't much of an effort to do those things. But
yes, so another misconception that people have about marriage, especially young people, is that when you get married, you have sex every single day of the week, every single day of the month, every single day of the year. It's not the case. You know, you are human beings at the end of the day.
No one's a machine.
Yeah, it's not like a PlayStation, like you just connect it, turn it on, and you know, you play every single day. It's not like that. It's different. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to shed some light on. Don't enter into marriage with those sorts of expectations. As I said, the expectations you set out before you enter into marriage are the things which will either leave you disappointed or leave you overwhelmed. So yeah, just a little tip for all the guys out there.
Right, so guys, we've reached the end of the video. Please do not forget to comment, like and subscribe. If you have any more questions on like what it's been like for us in the first, how long have we been married? 8, 9 months? 9 months?
10 months.
10 months of marriage. Feel free to drop them below. We'll try and get them answered for you.
Yeah.
But as we were saying in the beginning of the video, we do have a giveaway, but you guys have to work for it. So we've decided, obviously we've got our little baby Patel on the way, so we thought it would be quite interesting if we got you guys involved, if you guys just thought of like baby names.
Yeah.
For, obviously it's a boy. If you haven't watched Gender Reveal, you can go back and just check it out.
Disclaimer, the name will not necessarily be used, but we're just intrigued in the most creative name that people come up with.
Yeah, so, and one thing I'm really interested in is name meanings.
Yes.
So obviously the name can sound nice, but if it means something like window,
Dark.
I'm not gonna,
window.
You are not gonna win. So yeah, so just give us your most interesting boy names.
And if you could get even an Indian, get the whole name in there. So
whole name, yeah.
Throw in an Indian name and a Ghanaian name as well. That would be really cool.
The baby's due on the 27th, which is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So in the Ghanaian culture, usually the day of the week gives them a certain name, so that means he'd be a Kwabena. But if you wanted to pick like another Ghanaian name, you can also add that. But
feel free.
Just so you know, yes, you can just put the whole name in there. Do whatever order you want. You can have an English name, Ghana name, Indian name, and then surname.
Whatever you feel.
So yeah, so when we hit 3,500, one of you guys will be the lucky winner.
Email us with your names. The email address will be below, so we'll be able to see everyone's names.
Yep.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you at the next vlog.